Hello and welcome back to another computer sluggish tutorial. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to tune up your Windows 10 operating system. This will also work for other Windows operating systems, but you do need to be logged in as an administrator. You now need to head on over to the link that's in the description below and you will end up on a page that looks like this. Once you're on this page you now need to click on download now and you need to go save file. Once the file has finished downloading, we can now run the setup file. And we can go next, I agree, next. And I don't want to join the customer experience program. And I don't want to create a quick launch icon. But I will keep the desktop icon on. Once the install has finished, we can now keep Run Glary Utilities checked and go finish. And this is what the program looks like. As you can see at the minute we are on the overview panel, which basically just gives us a few options here. For example, turn on automatic maintenance, erase privacy tracks on Windows shutdown, check for updates when the program starts, turn on deep clean and fix, which unfortunately you do need to have the pro version. For example, if I click on it, it will pop up with a activation window. Moving on to the middle now, we have our Windows boot time. My Windows takes 36 seconds to boot. If we click on Startup Manager, you can actually see all the programs that boot up with my Windows. Up the top here, it says 154 programs started on Windows Startup, or a user logs in. As you can see along top here, we have 43 Windows services, 23 application services, 4 plugins, 75 scheduled tasks, and 9 startup programs. To disable these, all you need to do is simply click on this little slider here, and that's now disabled CCleaner, and that's now disabled Thunderbird, and here we can disable Rocket Dock. And the more I disable, the faster my boot time will be. You could easily probably knock off another 10 seconds off that by just going through and disabling a load of programs. And that will make your computer faster. If we come off that now and go to the right hand side here, we have our advanced tools. You can actually go on to one-click maintenance if you want and go on to scan for issues. But I prefer to go on to advanced tools and go through everything one by one. For example, straight away our first option is our disk cleanup. If we click on this option, it will now scan our computer for any rubbish it can find. We do need to close down our current web browser, which is absolutely fine. And as you can see at the minute, it has managed to find 58.43 gig of rubbish that I do not need. And I could easily just go ahead and click start cleaning and just remove all that. That's going to be 58 gig of free space I'm going to clear. And the reason why that is so big, a lot of you are going to be like, what, how can you have 58 gig? Is because after I finish uploading these videos to YouTube, obviously I delete them and they go into my recycle bin. And that's going to be my video files in there, which are huge. But anyway, you shouldn't have as big of a file size cleanup as that. But you can easily go through the list as well and disable what you don't want to clean. As you can see, it's detected applications here, it's detected Steam, it's detected our web browsers. You might not want your Firefox to be cleaned up because you like to have all the history and everything in there. If we now close down the disk cleanup, we can now move on to the registry repair. A lot of people don't like to do registry repairs. I've never had a problem with them, and you can always back up your registry before doing a clean anyway. But this will also help speed up your machine. I've always found it helps doing registry repairs. If we go up to File and go Export, that will just back up our registry. And as you can see, it's found 333 problems with my registry, which is going to be registry keys and stuff that other programs have left behind when I've uninstalled them, and the same with games, and just any other little things that have happened on my machine. If we now close down our registry repair, we have our shortcuts fixer, which will detect any errors on our desktop or in our start menu for shortcuts that obviously have a error. I accidentally just pressed delete, but it did actually find a lot of shortcuts that had a problem. Oh, I could maybe press restore. There we go. Restore. There we are. Restore successful. If I just close this now and go back onto it, it should hopefully come up with the list again. And there we go. As you can see, it's found a lot of problems there. And you can easily just go ahead and press delete. And it will fix these problems. If we now close this down and move on to our duplicate files finder, this will basically find any files on your machine that have the exact same file size and have like the same image or the same text within a text document, and you can basically free up a lot of space by doing a duplicate finder. I'm not going to go ahead and do a scan because it will take a while to scan my machine. Next we have empty folders finder, which is the same as a duplicate file finder. It will just find any empty folders on our computer and you can just delete them. We now have our context menu manager, which is when you right click and you can just change this menu. And we have our uninstall manager, which means you can just uninstall any programs on your computer. Moving on to optimize and improve, we have our startup manager, which we've already looked up. Next up we have disk defrag, which you should definitely do. This organizes everything on your hard drive, making everything load and run so much faster. We have our memory optimizer, which let's just click on that. In here we can just optimize the amount of memory we want. So if I just press optimize, it will then free up any memory on our machine. And there we go, we've just freed up any memory it can. That really is a good thing to do before playing a game, as it will help improve performance in a game. Let's go ahead now and see what else we got. We got our registry defrag, which is the same as a disk defrag. It just defrags your registry, making everything run faster again. And we have check disk, which basically just scans your hard drives and makes sure there's no errors on your hard drive. If you are having a lot of issues lately with your hard drive, give this a go, as it will detect if your hard drive is failing and it might even be able to fix the hard drive. And we have our driver manager, which if we just click on there, we can basically update our drivers on our computer and we can back them up. If we just go to update here, it will scan our whole computer, all our hardware, and see if there's any new drivers that need to be updated. And as you can see, it's not found any on my machine, which is absolutely great. Next up we have software update, which will just find obviously software that needs updating like Firefox and stuff like that. And we now have our privacy and security. In here we can do tracks eraser, erase all the traces and evidence, cookies, internet history and more. We have our file shredder, which will permanently delete files on your computer and they will no longer be able to be recovered. We have quick and effective way to retrieve accidentally deleted files, which is always handy. Let's just open that up quick. And that's what it looks like. You can just scan your hard drive and it will find any files it can that you accidentally deleted. And we have file encryptor, which basically means you can encrypt files and people will need a password to be able to open them. And we can manage our Internet Explorer add-ons and fix if our web browser has been hijacked. Like sometimes your homepage, it might not be Google anymore, it might be something else, which obviously means it's been hijacked. And we have our process manager. We can see what is running on our computer right now. This is all the processes, which is pretty cool, and you can just click end process if you want to end the process, or block the process if you don't want it to ever run again. And we can now go down to files and folders. In here we have disk space analyzer. Display the disk space usage of your files and folders. Let's just click on that and have a little look. We can select which hard drive we want to use. I'm just going to go with my C drive. And as you can see, it's now scanning my C drive. Let's just cancel that and have a little look around. If we expand, no, we do need to analyze. Okay, but basically that's going to show us which section of our hard drive is using up the most space. And then you can pinpoint what files you need to delete to free up more space or move to another hard drive. It's an extremely good program. Let's have a look. We've got file splitter, split large files into smaller files, and we have quick search, locate files and folders by name instantly. And we have our system tools. Here we have system information, which basically just brings up all the information about your machine. which is where you can see what motherboard you have, which is always a nice feature. It saves you having to take your computer apart to see what motherboard you have. You can also see what memory you have. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you an exact name, but it gives you an idea of how much memory you do have. And yeah, just a little bit of information there. It tells us about our processor and our graphics cards. On the left hand side here, we can actually click on memory and we can see what our memory usage is going on. You can also do the same for, say, display, and it just brings up a load more information. Let's close that down now and see what else we have. We have our registry backup, registry restore, just basically loads of other little utilities there. You can also undo changes, restore the changes made to your computer by Glary Utilities. So if you do encounter any problems after doing anything on this, I would say with cleanup stuff, it won't restore cleanup files and that. Once you've deleted those files, they are gone. The same with the permanent file deleter as well. But that is pretty much with Glary Utilities. It's a fantastic program to tune up your Windows operating system and get everything back to speed. I hope this tutorial helped. If it did, that's cool. You can actually click on this little dot here to change the view. But yeah, if this did help, then yeah, smash that like button below and subscribe for more computer sluggish tutorials.